Start.
Okay. Yo guys, okay, so today we are going to ask your Jin, right?
Yeah.
One of the most important question. When is he getting married? I'm just kidding,
Already married.
Okay, so Jin, on a serious note, right?
Yeah.
What is one of your biggest milestone, right, you want to achieve in life?
Since I started work, I have a very, very big dream that I don't tell people about. I have this aspiration to actually build schools in the third world countries.
What's it?
Yeah.
So like 古天乐 kind of.
古天乐 is very. 古天乐 is not 古天乐. I'm not even. I'm just 古 only, I think. Yeah. But I think that education is something that nobody can rob from.
That's true.
So no robbers can come to your house and snatch your education. And through education, people get to change and become better. And this is where we as human beings can progress.
Wow.
This is why I am inspired to build schools.
Oh, that's a very big and philanthropic dream, you know.
Yes,
And I agree
yes.
to what you say, because education is only the path for you to work out of poverty, correct, for you to change your life.
That's true.
But today we're not talking about this idea, but really, I mean, aside from building schools, which is really amazing, really good, just go and pursue it. What is in Singapore context as we grow up, right? What is one of the biggest things that we want to own?
I think the most expensive thing that we will own in Singapore is a house.
Yes.
Probably a property, your house.
Correct. So a property is everyone, I believe, is everyone's biggest life assets. And also there are very significant milestones, be it you are buying it with your wife or your partner, right? Or you buy it for yourself, right? So this is a very big milestone for everyone. So today we are going to talk about, right, the 5 hidden costs, right? 5 hidden costs when you buy a property. I mean, like, when you buy a property, what is the thing you go and view the houses with your agent, right? And then you spot a property, there's love at first sight, everything looks like super nice to you. You get a deposit, you exercise the contract, then you completed. So after you get the keys, right, what are the hidden costs? Because I'm sure you don't want to be blinded by the hidden costs, right?
Go off my first.
Alright, so today we are going to share you 5 hidden costs. Probably, you should want to take note of, right?
Wait, these 5 hidden costs, right, don't just apply to one kind of property.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it can also apply to HDB, a private condo, an EC, or even a landed as well.
Correct.
And some of these maybe will also involve your commercial properties.
That's true,
Right?
that's true.
So let's get on to it.
Right, so generally we'll talk about HDB, but like what Jimmy said, we'll talk about all property,
Correct.
but just take note of that, right? Okay, so we'll start with number one. Number one thing, the hidden cost that you buy a property is, don't forget, you need to pay your property tax.
Right.
Okay, property tax is mandatory. Okay, you need to pay your property tax by 31st of January of every year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if
Okay.
you don't pay, sure, the fine will come on. Right? So property tax is very important. And how much you pay, the question, how much you pay? Well, that depends on the types of properties, okay, the size of properties, and what are you using the property for.
Oh, does that actually matter?
Of course, if you are buying a property for investment purpose, right, and then you are collecting a rental income, your property tax will definitely be higher than those who are using it for owner.
I see. Okay. That's something that's new. Okay.
Yeah, so property tax is number one thing. Okay, so the second hidden cost, right, what would it be? Would be your maintenance fee.
Maintenance fee.
Right, so
Okay.
if you are staying in HDB, right, they call it the service and conservancy charges. You pay your town council every month, right? And then if you are staying in a condo, you'll be paying this thing called an MCSCD.
Correct.
Right? How much to pay also depends on the types and the size, of your property as well. Right? So this maintenance fee, I will conclude as maintenance fee is something to upkeep your property. Like probably you pay your entire building, after every 5 years, and your daily day-to-day housekeeping. So all these are also part and parcel of upkeeping your property, and you also need to be mindful of the fees. Right? So this is a maintenance fee, which is the second hidden cost, because it's not a chunky fee, but it's also a significant allocated sum that you need to be well aware of.
Correct.
Right? So the third thing, may I guess what book like fire or inspiration like that. Correct, it's fire insurance. Jimmy, I know that last time before you came to real estate, you are really an achiever in like insurance in the financial sector. So I think I shouldn't be the one to explain. Let Jimmy explain it.
Okay, actually I've been a financial planner for 8 years before I actually left the industry. So fire insurance is something that is very much neglected by a lot of clients, if you realize. Because actually fire insurance is very, very affordable. It can be, if I'm not wrong, as cheap as maybe $100 a year.
Wow.
Okay. So for HDB flats that you buy, it's mandatory to get the HDB fire insurance. Okay. Of course, you buy private landed or you buy condo, right? You have to buy your own fire insurance. Of course, if you are taking a bank loan more than usual, they also ask you to top up as well. What does the fire insurance do? Usually, the basic thing that it do is to help you clear up the debris and to restore your house back to original condition.
So in an event where the fire just come out.
Correct. Original condition doesn't mean your smart TV, your leather sofa, your
Is that covered?
No, it's not.
Oh.
For basic, no. They will make it white nicely for you, and bye bye. That's what the fire insurance does.
Oh.
This is why sometimes, as financial planners, they do advise to get a more advanced kind of fire insurance where they protect your content inside your house.
Like
so
your pictures and
correct.
things.
So your TV can be claimable, your refrigerator can be claimable, your leather sofa, depending on what are the plans that you buy. So if you have not bought or you're not sure, please check with your financial consultant. Alright? Another thing that we always talk about
This
is
is the fourth thing, right?
Yes, the fourth thing, home protection scheme. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. If we are dealing with HDB flats, you will see home protection. So what does this do? So basically, home protection scheme is like a mortgage insurance. In the event of death, of you or your partner or in the house of the unit, the house can practically be paid up for by the mortgage insurance. For private property, usually banks again will ask you to buy a mortgage insurance. Okay, to actually to ensure in case of unforeseen circumstances like death or disabilities. Correct. So another way that people will do is to buy life insurance to cover the value of the house, since the way of the executing of the insurance is similar. Of course, premium wise there will be differences. So this is something that you also should consider.
Okay, so in the gist, right, it means that if you are taking up a HDB loan, right, you definitely have to get fire insurance.
Correct.
Right? Then if you are using your CPF OA, right, you need to get a home protection scheme.
Correct.
So it's mandatory. You don't have option unless you fully pay your properties, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Talking about fire insurance, you don't think Singapore nobody house catch fire? Actually, the occurrence of fire catching units is actually quite regular.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, you read on the news, it's actually quite scary.
Yeah, my mom every time tell me don't charge my phone overnight. I mean, every time tell my mom, hey, don't be so superstitious. But it's true, because sometimes if you buy, electrical stuff, you overcharge it, you might just create a fire. So, I mean, this is important for us.
Yeah, do be careful because you really never know when this will happen. Alright? Okay, moving on.
Right.
So, since we have already talked about 4 hidden causes, what is the last thing that we should also be mindful of when we buy a property?
Alright, so when you buy a property, other than these 4 hidden costs, right, I think this will be the most exciting part and also the most tiring part. It is renovation. Okay, so renovation is something that, it is really exciting because for me, myself, I come from a designer background. So last time I in the built environment, so I love designing. So renovation, this part, right, is interesting, it's fun because you get to design your dream home.
Correct.
But at the same time, you also need to be mindful of how much you want to set aside for renovation costs.
That's true.
Right, and particularly during this season where construction costs, material costs, manpower costs are all on the uptrend.
Correct.
So I mean, you probably need to cater an additional 20% more of your renovation costs. So it also comes to what types of theme you want to have for your house. Some people are okay with very minimalism, right? So that being said, I mean, they can be very simple, but some people like to have like palace theme or some like
Scandinavian, industrial look.
right? So depending on the type of ID you are getting, right? Because different type of ID charge different fees, and also the theme and the material you use. Imagine instead of using a homogeneous style, you want to use a more atas material called the marble, Italian imported marble. Then the per square foot will be probably double or triple cost. So that's one renovation cost that you need to be mindful of. Or probably you say, oh, this 5 hidden costs, this point number 5 is going to be the most chunky portion. So I mean that is something that you want to set aside for yourself.
Okay. So of course renovation costs. After that, your house is still empty, mind you.
Yeah, correct.
Next thing, buying your furniture,
Yeah.
buying electric appliances, all these things will add into cost. So when you are actually buying or considering to buy a property, please remember you need to factor these causes into it before making a decision. I mean, it is important to know what you are in for, because actually nowadays electric appliances are actually not very cheap. Unless you have a good deal, go and look at those
99 sale,
99, yeah. Alright, so anyway, that's all for today. If you do like our video, please share and do like our video, and also please check out our social media. If not, that's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.